Hello everybody from Singapore. I've been spending the past few days here running a program for a very large Latin American bank on emerging technologies and the future of the world order. And there's been one issue that has come up repeatedly in our visits and in our lectures here with academics and experts, and that has been the trade war between the United States and China and its impact on the economic prospects of China and of the region. And actually the fundamental message has been one of how limited the impact is going to be and how resilient the Chinese economy is probably going to be in the face of these challenges. And this is because of fundamentally three reasons. The first is the US is in fact not that big of a player when it comes to international trade, so it represents about 14% of global trade compared to, say, China or the EU, upwards of 30%. So the US economy, despite it being so large, is in fact quite autarkic or dependent from economic producers and economic demand domestically rather than internationally. So that's the first one. The second is the reduced dependence of China's GDP in fact on trade. The Chinese economy is more and more being fueled now by domestic demand and domestic production and less so on trade, so that makes it much more resilient to trade shocks. And the third is just the interdependence and the level of integration within Asia, economic integration of value chains and of markets, which has really exploded over the past few years, right? So China is trading very heavily with Korea, with Japan, with Australia. Again, this makes it much more resilient to trade shocks because it can alter its sources of everything from technology to manufacturing products to whatever it needs to substitute the shock provided by the lack of imports from the US for particular products, but also its access to very large markets that can substitute the US as a destination for its products. So these three trends actually will probably enable China to absorb this shock and to continue to implement this Made in China 2025 strategy, which basically aims to make China a leader in a number of frontier sectors, from robotics to AI to aeronautics. So the general message from Singapore, and people here would know because they are very dependent on trade with China and they've been focusing on studying China for a very long time, and they sit right in the middle of the China-US conflict. The fundamental message has been one of calm and of resilience on the Chinese part to this. So the conflict will probably go on for a while, but they don't see the Chinese bending the knee anytime soon, rather substituting the US as a key trading partner moving forward. So thank you everybody. Bye-bye.